Hey, yep, it's me, Uncle Ricky. Look, this is a funny day. Not funny, haha funny, but funny, ironic funny, because with all the shit that's going on in the world, there's really nothing to talk about because everything that's an issue is the same issue that it was yesterday. The only new, things that are happening because we still got people getting killed. We still got corrupt politicians. We still got a Congress that's about as effective as a fly underneath a fly swatter. And now we got a presidential election coming, and besides the fact that we already know who is going to be representing both parties, even though it'll be some fantastic shit on both sides connected to their nomination. I mean, Biden will be 3 days younger than dirt. He'll be the oldest person ever to run for the presidency. He'll be, if he makes it through the next term, he'll be the oldest person to ever have done the presidency, hands down. Trump, on the other hand, is not the youngest person by far. He's only a few years behind Biden, but his record-shattering first could be that he could be the first person actually to, be the first convicted felon to become the president of the United States. This is what we're looking at, and as a voter, I'm not saying what party or whatever, but just as a voter, as a citizen of this country, this is nothing to be proud of. How can a two-party system get down to, and this isn't the first president, this is like the third, maybe the fourth in a row, where the country, the selection is the lesser of two evils, and that's the only option that we have. We don't, neither side is giving us an option. It's already a done deal. The media is already, forecasting it's going to be a Trump, another Biden Trump, and I don't know, if you're a fan of sports, events, when you got the same two motherfuckers going at each other all the time for all the marbles, that event becomes boring. And this is where we are at a most dangerous point. There's so much politically to fight for in this country right now. Basically, the right of people to just be people is on the chopping block, but it's being overshadowed by the boringness of the two-party political system. If we ever needed an injection of a fresh breath, a new mode of thinking, not radical, nothing, but just a common sense breath of fresh air, a third party of just common sense people. We need that now because this Democratic Republican thing ain't doing nothing but shortchanging the country wholesale. The Republicans have promised us, what they have promised us is repressive and obtrusive enough, but what they have delivered is nothing but doom and gloom. That's all they seem to be able to get behind. That's all they seem to be able to want. And they're not even listening to their own people, because there's a lot of people out there that claim to be Republicans that are not happy with what's going on with their representatives in D.C. because they doing dumb shit. They going after shit that really doesn't matter in the scheme of things, while people trying to figure out how to feed their families 2 weeks in a row, how to pay the rent, how to pay the mortgage. Well, let's say rent, because mortgage is less and less people actually trying to buy because it's becoming impossible for the average person to buy, regardless of who is in charge of the White House. Owning property seems to be reserved for the elite. doesn't. It's not part of the bootstrap struggle anymore. You get a domicile. You get a place to live. And like you pay rent on that. If you buy, it's in a place that we don't want, and somebody got to be there. So we might as well let you have it. But owning the dream of buying the house with the white picket fence and the garage and all that bullshit, unless you got $500,000 to play with for the next 20, 30 years, at least, you can forget that shit. And if you're working for, say, $45,000 a year trying to feed, a wife and 2 kids, and wifey kicking in, but there's no coverage for when she gets pregnant, but your state won't let you have abortions because that's illegal. They trying to put you in jail and monitor your wife's menstrual cycle and have police on the borders to stop you from going out of state to another state to get a... How can you win? Seriously. Why do you even want to... Why does anybody with good sense want to throw themselves into that meat grinder knowing that the odds are with the House, they're against the person, the people? And the people that they're electing to be their elected representatives in government don't give a shit about them, and they do everything they can every day to make life even tougher for people that ain't them. This should be a time of evolution, dare I say revolution, but it's just turning into another fucking event of the same old thing. And you can't deny it, you can't ignore it, because if you do, the outcome is unacceptable. It's unacceptable, the fact that most sane people, regardless of party affiliation, know that you gotta vote for Biden because Trump is going to be the opposition, and another 4 years of Trump is... I'm not trying to be hyperbolic, a term that is much assigned to the opposition, but I don't think we can fucking stand another 4 years of Trump. This is how volatile, this is how crass, this is how rude, and most of all, this is how vindictive Donald John Trump is. He ran for president because he got slighted by Obama at a press dinner. Took the country to the verge. Country said, "No, we not ready for this shit. We don't want you." He lost another election, but this time he lost both the general and the, victory from the jaws of defeat, the electoral college, and so, but he lost both of those. And that shattered his little ego, and he decided, well, this is America, it's my toy, so I'm gonna have an insurrection. That didn't work, and now he's out on his ass and he's running for his life because all of this stuff is coming back to haunt him, because contrary to popular belief, the majority of the American people do give a fuck about what goes on in their country. They may not act like it, they may not understand what it takes to be responsible, but they do give a fuck. We are at a crossroads. I guess that's a good, because seriously, what we do over the next 4, maybe 10 years is going to decide whether this country lives or dies as a democracy. And maybe I'm old school, maybe, being like the end of the boomer thing, I might be stuck on an attitude or whatever, but I think democracy is the best play for everybody concerned, because there's just too many of us from too many places with too many backgrounds that you cannot have us. You will not survive if there's not a system in place, enforced, and doing as designed to ensure equality among all people. It doesn't mean that optically it's not going to look like a certain group is in charge, or that one group is getting more due than they deserve. But it's just showing that there is a bunch of human beings, maybe imperfectly, but actually struggling every day to treat each other fairly. You know, that's what democracy is to me, and I think that's the only way that this country is going to survive is the America that we know. We might not understand it, we might not like it, but it is the best opportunity for all parties concerned. If we just live, if we just try to enforce what we already have on paper and improve, plug all the little loopholes so the Nazis and the fascists and the supremacists, supporting whatever race or religion can't crawl through the little fucking cracks in our armor, and America can continue to be a wonderful place to live and be free. Most of all, be free. Well, that's it for me, Uncle Ricky. Sorry if this wasn't exciting, but like I said, we're just at a point where everything's at a stalemate, and we gotta buck up and do what we're getting too used to doing. That's all I'm gonna say. Hope y'all, can think on it, meditate on it, contemplate on it, maybe even come back, with some replies. But until the next time, peace out, and as always, God bless. Uncle Ricky.